After going through all the training, you end up with the typewriting exam. And when you pass, it is included in your license, and then you start flying. So after the medicals and everything, all your medicals and the drills must be okay for you to get certified. We're looking for, yes, the person must be presentable. The person must be well-spoken. Because we have a lot of customers, we have a lot of passengers, and then no two flights are ever the same. You need to be able to communicate properly with these passengers. If you do not know how to communicate properly, if you cannot, then we can't achieve anything. Of course, if you're short, it doesn't really match the job, and then it makes it reaching the attract and all, you know. Yes, you must be tall, and then it's got to do with age here in this country, basically, you know. So age as in, you know, the younger you are, the faster. So it is better for you to tutor people from that young age, and then they get used to the job. You know, you tutor them from there and they get used to the job, and it's easy for them to achieve. In as much as we talk about the age, the young age and everything, we have some people in this job that have put in their best and that are still there, that are spontaneous, ready to go, knows much about the job. And then, like we were talking about grooming before now, you know, that really comes out. Yeah, so we give preference to such people. I'll say at least 35 hours a week. If you are scheduled to operate a flight today, we cannot exceed 14 hours duty time limitation.
Have already in here.
The aviation industry thrives on the presence of certain support facilities.
Put your hands together for
Top on this list is what's described as a maintenance, repair and overhaul.
crave your indulgence that
This is one facility where airlines could carry out all forms of maintenance checks.
Maintenance organizations usually are standalone companies or entities set up entirely to focus on providing airplane maintenance and engineering service without the usual worries and tension of airline operations. Consequently, their narrow focus makes them easier to specialize and eventually attain excellence in various maintenance and engineering fields in the aviation industry.
At a recent forum in Lagos, principal parties gathered to discuss the way forward on the establishment of this kind of facility. For the boss of the Murtala Muhammad Airport 2, Captain Jerry Williams, he recalls that the Akwa Ibom state government conceived the idea of a world-class MRO, but met a brick wall.
One or two individuals came up during my tenure in Akwa Ibom, and I found out that we were just running around policy. Nobody really interested. Why are these people trying to do this? What are they doing it for? Are they Einstein? It's unfortunate that even the Ministry of Aviation, sorry to say, was not interested. Different ministers will come in, they just come for inspection and go. So I would like to say that MROs for Nigeria today is just foreign. Now, you cannot have an airline industry without a maintenance base. It's impossible.
you are all
A big solution will be the federal government's intervention in the form of tax waivers, and the free trade zone is key.
Ethiopia started years ago, and they started with the backbone of an airline. They were maintaining their own aircrafts before they started maintaining other people's aircrafts. So which one is the startup airline? Is it ARIC? Does government have a policy that says, okay, once we invest in starting this MRO for 73, all ARIC 737s go to Akwa Ibom? Or do we continue capital flights, carrying them out while Akwa Ibom dies? So these are the policies we talk about. It is impossible for us to start an MRO without the buy-in of the stakeholders. And the stakeholders will drive this, and it is collective. You cannot say because you are Chechengi, Arik, Aero that, oh, let us have 10 different MROs. It will not work. If we have one for the nation, our engineers will be trained. We'll be able to use that as a backbone to decide which type of aircrafts that companies actually gravitate towards, than having all these aircrafts flying. But those companies have their prerogative to do that.
I will not take any question now.
The federal government on its side says it's willing to create an enabling environment and the requisite support for anyone wishing to establish an MRO facility in the country. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has commenced full implementation of certification of all aviation security screeners in the nation's airports. In a statement signed by the NCAA Director General, Captain Muhtar Usman, screeners who were successful will be issued with a certificate which would be valid for 24 months. The statement explained that the certification was in accordance with the provisions of International Civil Aviation Organization certification system and would be effective from the 1st of August. It added that the provision was for aviation security personnel and part of the requirements for National Civil Aviation Security Training Program. An AFSEC screener is a security personnel responsible for the screening of passengers, cabin baggage, hold baggage, cargo carrier, mail, and aviation personnel items. The AFSEC personnel make use of X-ray screening equipment prior to boarding or loading of baggage and cargo into the aircraft, a movement to restricted areas. Passengers began arriving on Delta Airlines at New York's LaGuardia Airport earlier in the week. Atlanta-based Delta, the second largest U.S. carrier by passenger traffic, said it had cancelled about 300 flights after a power outage caused a system-wide outage. Georgia Power said a piece of Delta equipment failed and caused the airline's computer systems to lose power. Delta said passengers booked for travel between August the 8th and the 12th will be entitled to a refund if their flight is cancelled or significantly delayed. In airports around the world, passengers stuck in check-in queues or in planes waiting to depart took to Twitter to share photos and frustration at the delays, as well as to ask how a major airline could be grounded by a power cut.
It's okay, I mean, in terms of time, because I travel like every week, so I have been like worse experience before, it's mainly because of the weather. But if you consider only like a 3-hour delay, it's okay, but it's just a little bit, you know, no one knows what's going to happen, how long we're going to wait, things like that. Put a lot of tension on people's mind.
We sat on the plane for a few hours. We got off the plane for an hour, got back on the plane for a couple of hours, and kind of just sat there.
When I got here, I waited. I got here like 8:37 flight, and then they kept on, you know, delaying it, and then they never announced that it was canceled. So I had to call the service, and they told me it was canceled. So they gave me another flight, but then I got a flight tomorrow. So it was the fact they didn't let me know what was going on.
Delta's outage follows several high-profile computer problems faced by U.S. airlines in the past year. Budget carrier Southwest Airlines halted the patches last month after a technical problem, while American Airlines suspended flights from 3 of its hubs last September after technical problems. Industry consultants say airlines face an increase in risk from computer disruptions as they automate more of their operations, distribute boarding passes on smartphones, and fit their planes with Wi-Fi.
When Aviation This Week returns, the 2016 airlift of Hajj pilgrims begin nationwide.